Hello guys, this is Avcoor, and we're back with another Final Fantasy Ever Crisis video. This picture is important for what I'm about to explain to you. There's a lot of videos that are going to tell you who's the best character, who you should go for. But if you're going to play this game on a budget, if you just want to enjoy the game and you don't want to slap money at this game, you need to focus on these two characters right now for a second. Zack and Cloud are functionally the best out of pocket units in the game. And there's a reason for that. So if you're one of these people who don't want to spend money, I'm going to show you a couple of tips in this guide. And you're going to understand that for the long term of this game, these two are an extremely great investment. If you play beta like I really didn't understand the mechanics at first of the game. I really didn't I played Final Fantasy. I love Final Fantasy, but I really didn't understand the mechanics. I just jumped in. I didn't even really know if I wanted to play the game. But these dudes really carried me pretty far. And the fact that the system, the game itself, actually supplements you to play these characters and gives you tools in order to play these characters is the reason why you should invest. And there's a deeper reason that I'm going to explain later on. So, who are these two characters? Well, Zack is actually the hero, and Cloud pretends to be Zack, right? So this guy right here is supposed to be the main character, but Cloud actually becomes the main character. Even if you played Final Fantasy VII, it hurt me that Eris really wasn't into Cloud at first because she actually dated Zack, and that really hurt me. I won't. If you haven't played Final Fantasy VII, I won't ruin the story for you. But this is the foundational point. These characters are so popular that the devs later on are going to boost them up. Everything is basically set up for them to be the two best characters in the game. And even though there are characters that are better than them now, the outlook for these characters are looking really good. So why do I say that? So if we go into here and let's look at Cloud for a second, you'll see 5 weapons on here. But I want to talk about Buster Edge. Buster Edge is a weapon that over time you can rank up to 5 star, and you don't have to pay any money for that weapon. Buster Sword is actually serviceable in the game. Murasame, Hard Edge are really freaking good. Apocalypse is really good as well. Mithril Saber is really good as well. And they say honorable mention about Crystal Sword. I think it should be like one of the main mentions because Crystal Sword actually makes Cloud an effective healer. And you'll learn in this game that there's two or three roles that a character can play. And if a character can play 3 roles, he's automatically top tier. Cloud and Zack can both play all 3 roles in battle. And that's something that people are missing when they make these videos. The devs have set up Cloud and Zack to be like the two best characters in the game, basically. Not so much as in potency. Like Matt has a lot of DPS potency, and Aerith is going to be the staple healer. But overall flexibility and team building, Cloud and Zack have those in spades. So I want to talk about why that is. First of all, we'll say about Murasame. Murasame is a really, really high damage weapon. And once I come out with the spreadsheet on the stats that you get from the weapons, you'll see that Cloud and Zack have a slight edge on certain units. Like there'll be a Matt or a Glenn in certain areas that eclipse them in certain stats. Like Eris will eclipse them in healing, but they're really across the board super good. And the fact that it's the second highest physical attack weapon in the game, and both of their reaction abilities that you get from this weapon will boost up Cloud's damage. Cloud hits extremely hard. Matt hits harder than him on a non-elemental physical side, but when you add on the lightning effect, Cloud actually can exceed him, and that will change. I'm sure that the devs are going to make Cloud stronger, and the foundation that they're building upon is really good. Like Hard Edge is a great nuking option that reduces physical defense. So when I talk about Buster Sword, like when you play this game, you'll rank up Buster Sword, and it will be like your main weapon if you're not really spending money, if you're not rolling the gacha. But once you get one of these other weapons, it'll move down into the secondary slot, and then you'll be able to actually play him at a higher level. Cloud is so easy to play because he can do everything. So Hard Edge actually gives him defense break, which is so critical for units to have. I like there's like three roles a character could play. First is the DPS role. That means you just deal damage and you slow down when you shift into defense. Then there is the healing role where you actually just heal. Like healers in general are very passive characters. They can attack, but you always are wanting them to heal. And then there's the third option, which is the secondary attacker. But this position as secondary attacker is more important because in order to actually function in that position, you have to do something else besides attacking. You're expecting that character to like hit behind your main DPS, but you're expecting them to do something else. This third position is the hardest position to fill in your roster as everybody has the potential to do this said role. Like when you look at Cloud, Cloud can actually do this role. He's actually the best unit to do this role. Him, Matt, and Zack are actually more equipped to do this role, even though they're prioritized as physical damage dealers or magical damage dealers. When newer characters will come into the game, they will move into the mixed role, and they'll actually be the best at it. One of the reasons for that is what I just said. He can lower defense, and he actually has access to lightning and wind. So with Apocalypse, Apocalypse does really good damage. I didn't get access to this weapon at its maximum potential, so I got cucked. But anyways, you actually can like pair him with wind material, and he does insane wind damage. I never got to try that, but it really makes him flexible in his overall elemental damage potential, which is really good. Mithril Saber is another aspect of what makes Cloud such a safe investment. This dude can actually do non-elemental magic damage, and you say like, okay, I don't really want to build him as a mage, but in the flex position, this is what I'm talking about. In the third position, you're expecting this character to supplement wherever weakness you have on the team because your main DPS kind of directs the flow of your team because this is the way you kill the opponent, and your healer sits in the back, right, and keeps the strategy going. Well, that third position has to supplement wherever holes you have in your team. Say for instance you use Matt and he's in like you got his two physical attack weapons. Well, maybe you need a magic damage dealer. Cloud actually fills in that role. He actually can break defense. He actually can trigger elemental attacks, and he actually can do magic attacks. Crystal Sword is super important for Cloud in the future as it gives him an option as a healer. This is important because when Sephiroth comes, Sephiroth is coming. May not be now, but Cloud will no longer be the best single target physical DPS. Even like at this point, Matt actually challenges him for this spot, but it's harder to get Matt's weapons than it is to get Cloud's because you automatically get Buster Sword to 5-star. I can't stress how important that is. The fact that he just gets a free 5-star weapon off the bat, like before you even invest in him. As long as you go through the story mission and you get your complete killers, you'll get a 5-star Buster Sword. It's not the best weapon. But what makes Cloud so good It's the fact that his weapons are all good. Like when we really get into the weeds of this, not every character has the broad range of effective weapons that he has. And the devs are being real tricky about how good they're making Cloud. Because if you look at Matt, not all of Matt's weapons are good. If you go down to his low level D and C weapons, they're not that great. But when you look at Cloud's weapons, they're really solid. They may not be as good as his top tier weapons, but if you rank them up, they are very serviceable because this is a grindy game. And if you grind up the lower level weapons that Cloud gets, you'll actually find that on a budget, Cloud is very, very functional. So I see the devs and how they're trying to trick us. Cloud is going to be like at first a physical DPS, but then he's going to move to like the flex character once characters like Sephiroth and Sid Highwind jump in. So I'm already figuring out what the devs are thinking because come on, man, with a setup like this, he literally can do everything. He can heal, he can do magic attack, he can do status debuffs, and they didn't even talk about organics, which allows you to stun, and that's like the lower end tier of his weapons. And I know the stun isn't that effective, but if you play the game, you'll realize that that 30% comes in at a critical moment, and it's not even the best weapon that he has, and you can rank it up really fast. So on a budget, man, I promise you, stick with this channel, and I'll help you manage your account at a low without even investing any money. Because like with Cloud, you don't really have to invest any money. You just have to focus on his banners and manage your resources in that effect. You just don't even worry about the other characters. Just focus on Cloud's banners, and you'll get the most out of this account. So they even talk about early game you get Buster Sword upgrade material for free, and that's the whole point. You actually get Buster Sword for free, and you can just slowly move into better weapons. That's really good. You can't beat that with a stick. So like when we go to Zack, people will argue that Zack isn't as good as Cloud and the other characters, but I argue this vehemently for one simple reason. You're getting Zweehander for free. Like Zweehander is given to you for free. This is what makes Cloud and Zack such viable options. You get some weapons for free that you're not going to get for other characters. Zweehander is like a very strong weapon and it does non-elemental damage, and it has the highest attack in the game. It's like, okay, man, there's no way that you as a F2P player shouldn't even think about any other character besides Zack because you're actually getting one of Zack's best weapons. Falchion is like an AoE weapon, and this is another thing that separates Zack from Cloud is he has really good AoE options. Like AoE is important in the game. Like certain bosses, you really want to clear out the mobs before you even challenge them. So like for this character to have so much versatility in his kit before you get to the rest of the stuff is really good. Like Cutlass is like good. The fact that he gets defense break, I think it's kind of unfair because like Barrett and Glenn are supposed to be like the defense breakers, but you'll see that other characters have access to this, and it just makes Zack so preferred for the third slot as whatever you need him to do in order to supplement the flaws in your team, he's able to do. Excuse me. And the fact that they give him Arc Sword is only the icing on the cake. They give him a non-magic option with magic defense break, which allows him to be so versatile. That third slot is made for Zack and Cloud. So for a long-term account, I think Zack and Cloud are your best investments. Enhanced Sword is it's another AOE weapon, okay? It does AOE and like you will like AOE, but I think they should have put Crystal Sword Z in this. Because Crystal Sword Z allows Zack to heal, and I don't think this was his best weapon. So I'm this guy does a really good job. He's a really good player, but there's certain things that I saw that I thought was like questionable. Hands Lord Z, I thought was yeah, it's good for like clearing waves and stuff, but his enhanced sword, crystal sword allows him to heal, and it's a really good heal. So I don't really understand why we would have that, but that's okay. I mean, I know that he sees the game differently than I do, but I'm looking at the future of this game, and once I make Avman account, my free to play account, my totally free to play account, you're gonna see me use Zack, you're gonna see me use Cloud, and I'm going to try to use all my resources to roll for Arif's Fairy Tale, and I'm going to use her, and just gonna be my team. Because Zack or Cloud can perform the main DPS role, and either one of them can perform the role of the third slot, which is your flex character, who's supposed to be able to do a little bit of everything, the jack of all trades route. But this video is important because it's going to help you play this game and not feel stressed about it because it's easy. It's easy to clear this game with Zack and Cloud. I've done it and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to show you that I can do it. So once the game comes out, I'm going to show you some videos of my F2P account. You'll see Adman. My name's Avcoor, so I just went with Adman, and you'll see that I can functionally run account on no money and have massive successes. But if you like my content, hit the like, share, subscribe button. I'll get back to you. Have a great day and goodbye.